Hey there, it's Amelia. I'm so excited to show you this incredibly simple beginner pumpkin. It turns out really cute, and the best thing is it only uses one skein. To start our pumpkin, we're going to use a skein of super bulky or super chunky yarn. This is the Paint Box Super Chunky in Sleek Gray. And we're also going to need a K-hook and have some scissors handy for when you're done. To get started, simply grab your end, make a slip knot, and chain 17 stitches. Okay, now once you have your 17 stitches, we're going to start row 1. And to do row 1, you're going to start by skipping a chain and doing a single crochet into the next chain. So the second chain from the hook, work a single crochet, and then simply crochet, single crochet into every remaining stitch. And since we're not counting the turning chain, this is going to give us a total of 16 stitches. All right, that's 16 stitches. Now simply chain 1 and turn. And for row 2, we're going to single crochet into every stitch. And we're going to keep repeating row 2 for several more rows. So just keep doing rows where you single crochet into every stitch and then chain 1 to turn. All right, now I'm finished with my pumpkin piece, and I did 32 total rows of this single crochet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to seam the short edges together, which means I'm going to fold them like this. I'm going to take my hook and insert it into the bottom of the first stitch that I'm at over here, and I'm going to simply slip stitch, so pull my yarn over through both of them. And I'm going to repeat this for every single one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go through both loops on this side and then the bottom of the stitch over here and slip stitch. You don't want to do this too terribly tight, but you want to seam it up nice and securely and make your way all the way down this edge. Okay, and when you're done slip stitching the seam down the entire edge, you are going to just yarn over it, pull it through, and bind off. And now you have a tube of crochet. And all that's left to do is to gather up both of these edges. So I'm going to start by gathering up the bottom, but I'm completely out of this yarn now. I had just enough yarn from that skein to do this project, so I'm going to grab a different yarn for gathering up. Okay, I grabbed this gray yarn really quick because if you can use a similar color, it will be easier to hide this inside of your work. So I'm just going to go ahead and pre-cut a couple of pieces of this for gathering each end. And you can use the exact same hook for this, or you could use a smaller hook. It might make it a little bit easier, but you're just going to weave this in and out of one of the ends of your pumpkin. And to make it go a little bit faster, you can start by going in and out and in and out, not too far away, but it doesn't have to be quite as close as I was doing it there. And then you can draw the yarn through for a much longer distance at once. So we're going to go all the way around, and you are going to do this on the wrong side. So as soon as you seam the two ends together, you can do this on the same side. We're going to turn it right side out after this first end is done being gathered, and the last part we will finish on the right side. So I'm almost done with this one, which I'll call the bottom of my pumpkin. I usually think of doing the bottom of the pumpkin first, and you'll see why in just a second. But as of right now, I've just about got this around the entire pumpkin. And once you get it all the way around, you're going to want to cinch it up just like a drawstring bag or something. Cinch it up very tightly, and then tie these ends together. You can use a big tapestry needle to stitch this up even more if you want, but usually this is plenty. Just tie that, and yeah, that looks really, really good. Okay, so now we basically have a bag, and I'm going to turn this right side out. So this would basically be the bottom of our pumpkin. And now at the top, we're going to gather this edge up as well, but there's two things we need to do. First of all, we're going to stuff this with our filling, and I'm actually going to use different swatches that I don't need anymore. But the second thing we're going to do is we're going to take the yarn piece from gathering up the bottom, and I'm going to keep it out here. Because what I like to do is I like to give it a little pull once the pumpkin is all stuffed, and it helps shape the pumpkin really well. So I'm going to keep this out, and I'm going to go ahead and thread my yarn through the top of the pumpkin as close to the edge as I can, just like I did the other one. And I'm just going to do my best to keep it straight, which one is the yarn that I'm gathering at the top and which one is the yarn that I'm pulling up from the bottom. You only need to pull up one piece of yarn from the bottom, and so hopefully your piece is long enough. If it's not, you can attach another piece, or you can just keep watching for a minute and see if you even want to do that trick. Okay, so my top is threaded. These are the two ends that I have threaded through the top. These ends are from crocheting the pumpkin. They're just going to stay inside, and this is the one from the bottom. So now we're going to take the step that's going to turn this from a lumpy little bag into a nice pumpkin. We're going to stuff it. Using all these things, and that actually looks perfect. This looks like the perfect amount. This filled it out nicely. I'm going to try not to stretch out the pieces. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to find my bottom piece. There it is. I'm going to keep this out, and I'm just going to pull these together. Oh, that looks so cute. Now you can kind of see that pumpkin shape coming in. I'm going to pull these together and leave this. And at this point, if you have your stems, you can go ahead and see what stem you want to use. So I have some stems actually cut from wood. I'm not crocheting a stem for this, and I just want to go ahead and look at these and see which stem is going to look best on my pumpkin. I think I like this one. I'm just going to decide with you right now which one I like. Yep, I like this one. So I'm going to get this down in the pumpkin, and I'm going to cinch this all the way around it. And once again, I lost my piece from the bottom. There it is. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. Pull it together really nice and gather it up. Okay. There's that. And now if you want to give your pumpkin a little bit more shape, what you do is you just pull this piece from the bottom and make it just compress a little bit down. You can make your pumpkin a little bit flatter this way. And then you're just going to want to tie that to these pieces at the top as well. Again, this is all just to give that pumpkin a little bit more shaping. But now what I'm finding is that my stem is longer than it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and trim that stem later. That's totally fine if I still want to do that. Okay. So now we've got a really, really cute pumpkin. And if you want to, I do have my glue gun right here. You can glue down in here a little bit just to make sure your stem stays on your pumpkin. And like I said, I'm going to trim this extra off. But first I'm going to hide these ends. And since they are also gray, that helps a lot. And I'm just going to kind of push them down in there. This is also where having your yarn woven in right along the edges, that really helps. And again, just give it a last little shaping. And then I'm gonna come in here and without making it too noticeable, just gonna shoot some glue in around the stem. And that is how you finish your pumpkin. Thanks for making this with me, and I will show you what this looks like once this is all trimmed up, and you can use this for decorating your own home.